Alright, hello, welcome everyone, welcome everybody to the stream. We are going to be dealing with the 9:30 opening bell in less than a minute. Okay. I already annotated the previous day's settlement, which is lower in comparison to where the price is right now. So that will be the Tuesday opening range gap low, pretty much overlapping partially with the Monday's opening range gap. Let me go to the 1 minute. So this will be the Tuesday opening range gap high, and we opened with a slight premium opening range gap. So I want to also annotate the consecutive encroachment. 50% is being hit right now. It kinda or basically overlaps with the new day opening up. But I will take this for good measure and only annotate it like this. Alright, so we just recently have taken the all-time highs again. So this is the current all-time high for Nasdaq. Okay, so there is always some validity to that level, and 10 a.m. we will have some Fed chairman testifying, so it sets up a perfect storm for a very manipulative and high resistance type of morning session. So we'll see how it actually goes. I don't have or I don't hold a very significant or obvious bias or idea right now. I prefer to stick with higher prices, but if it offers something very obvious on the downside, I have one level down here that I like, but that's quite far away, so I'm not gonna lose my mind over it right now. Just watching the opening range gap. We just closed it here, so very quickly, first 3 minutes we already are touching the low, but so far nobody's closing underneath. There is the first presented fair value gap for Tuesday morning session. I want to make sure that I include the volume imbalance right there. So Tuesday first presented fair value gap, and I'll also extend this into the future. Okay, so with that I'm pretty set to watching price action and seeing how we develop as we go. Yeah, the only sell side that I see on 15-minute is the low right here, so basically the Monday's low. So that's the only one that really jumps. Besides this, some little pools of liquidity there, but nothing super significant. Can toggle to the RTH and we can see that we still have a portion open here linked to this low, so that could be revisited, but on the regular trading hours we didn't approach the buy side here yet, so that might need some confirmation in regular trading hours trading. So the buy side here actually might be interesting. Okay. On the very near term, do we have something super obvious? There are a lot of lows in here, so a lot of sell side. There is this whole trend line type of liquidity that could be disrupted. But again, with the 10 a.m. Fed chair speaking, I kind of don't expect a very sustained price run like this, so I believe it's less likely, nonetheless. So at this moment, the buy side liquidity kind of still resides here. We traded outside of this Tuesday opening range gap low, but only on a week basis, so I'd be glad to annotate the consecutive encroachment here, and I wouldn't be surprised if we would be pulling back into the range. I have two lines in the sand right here, namely the today's first presentation and yesterday's first printed fair value gap. So I would be expecting, if it would be approaching higher, we would need to go above them and find some measure of support around the area here. So we'll see how it goes. So far I'm not in a rush, that's for sure. Good morning, Captain Singh. Have a great day too. Thanks. I hope we will get a nice clean price action, but even if not, we are not wasting time here, and experience is being collected nonetheless. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, personally, I would even allow for potential coloring outside of the lines below the opening range gap here. I wouldn't be like against that, to color outside of the lines here, because that would generally imply some bearish type of sentiment, I would say, and that would be a interesting idea or opportunity to send it for the all-time highs again. Something to keep in mind, I guess. All of this back and forth overlapping candles I'm not interested in, so still kind of waiting for the opening range to ferret out. So on the upside, I like this week right here. That's a nice premium week, coupled with the 9:30 opening. So I'm watching this. right now we are breaking below the Tuesday opening range gap low in here, closing below this discount week would indicate further weakness near term. So far only stabbing below it, no real close or anything like that. So what I would like to watch, study, and potentially justify whether there would be any sign of buying or accumulating long positions below the opening range gap low. Okay, so coloring outside of the lines would be allowed. Also, what I would like to include or incorporate here would be a projection, a little projection lower. So this would be approximately half of the standard deviation of the Tuesday's opening range gap from the high to low, projected lower. So anything in the realm of that 50% is reasonable, I would say, for coloring outside of the lines. Let's see. Welcome, Mr. Erdogan. Nice to see you again. And yeah, that's how it's looking. Let me see what the ES is doing. All right, so ES also traded lower. Look at those relative equal highs here on ES. This is way too smooth. Way too smooth. This is not going to stay like this, okay? This is not going to stay like this. And OIM, okay, also moved lower and now trading higher. So looks like the Nasdaq is the weakest so far. It can catch up obviously, but looks like all of those went lower first to some measure of discount, and they might be trying to get back into higher prices. That's my expectation right now. That's my expectation right now. And if I would be choosing which one to trade, not gonna lie, that the ES with those perfect relative equal highs here, I like those a lot. I actually like those a lot. I don't have anything else outlined here, so I'm kinda feeling in the dark, but the buy set here is definitely a target on this one. Yeah, there are also perfect relative equal lows here, but the bodies made a lower low too, so all of this lends pretty well. This whole entire CB here should be easily overtaken and send the price higher. But yeah, that's something I will be watching in here. Nasdaq pushing slightly higher here into the first presentation, tapping into the new day opening up for today, and 50% of the opening range gap. So a lot of premium arrays are being hit there. Initial rejection. Okay, we did left relatively lows around here, so but I personally think those relatively lows are more like a bait, and it should or could be trading higher nonetheless. So let's jump to the ES again. Yeah, I like this one a lot here to clear out the buy side. I'm watching if it offers anything on 15 second in terms of a potential fair value gap, but it might be off to the races too. I'm watching this 15-second discount week in here. And we do have a CB right here that if we close above it, that should act as inversion and then send it all the way up. So that's kind of what I'm watching here, and I wouldn't be hesitating of that potential setup here to run the buy side. Okay, so if we close above this, we didn't quite close above it, but it might get it might be quick and squirrely here. So yeah, if it wants to go from here, I'll let it go. Okay, so acceleration, quick smash through the buy side, and that would be it in a sense. Potentially, let's see the Nasdaq. Nasdaq way weaker, still playing its little game here. Less clean, that's for sure. Nasdaq looks like a mess in here. ES looks far better with what we see here. Okay, so fair enough. Probably the last strike on the buy side here will be employed, and apparently that discount week was probably a very solid idea to enter with this inversion here, but yeah, I have chosen not to do so, and now I'm watching how it delivers perfectly. Fair enough. Okay, let's see if we can get the buy side here, and then I go back to Nasdaq and the mess there. We touch to it, a little follow through would be expected. And Nasdaq did popped higher here, indeed into the Monday's first presentation, but it looks way more unorganized in here. Way poorer structure, that's for sure. So this one might be a hell of a messier. Now returning back into the first presented fair value gap for today. So I'm watching this closely, how we trade around this array. But yeah, this one already looks trickier. So I'm expecting some coloring outside of the lines here around this. And again, 10 a.m. we might see some manipulation around this, around that time. And with the fact that Nasdaq is not really matching the high with the ES, and it's trading way sloppier here. That's a measure of decoupling in my mind. ES has yet to clear out the buy side. How much range is it from here? 3.25. It could go slightly higher. Tricky. I mean, kinda too deep into this range, I would say. But yeah, the buy side should be still where it's going. So I'm kind of looking for any type of situation at this moment when I don't think that's likely, but if it happens that they leave the buy side like it is here and then start trading lower, then that would be, I would be looking or fishing for a long opportunity then, and to actually get the buy side. But yeah, I believe they might easily just snap above it here and be done with this. Yeah, there we go. So he has completed that. Very nice model, very nice. And back to the Nasdaq. Nasdaq is trying to reach higher, clearly more high resistance, but yeah, I believe the consecutive encroachment on the week here is kind of like the line in the sand as a potential draw on the upside, and whatever we get, if we get that, is remaining to be seen. But yeah, okay, so we traded above the Monday's first presentation here, yet to reach the 9:30 opening here. We haven't done that at all. And 952 BSI, that's what we are trading into. I am still suspecting some measure of manipulation here. Some wild price swing. Some wild candle could be. That could clear out the board a little bit, and then maybe if something's left, I could look to hunt. But yeah, at this moment I'm just watching price paint. I favor higher, or I prefer higher, but my question is whether we will see another, or yeah, probably not at this point. So stretching towards the weak consecutive encroachment, that should be a tell. If we can easily close above it, I would say continuation higher today is pretty likely. If it would fail for some reason, then we might see this rangy type of trading inside of this range that we established so far. So that will be interesting here. Okay, this one is in crosshairs here. Why is it not showing on the 15-second? I wonder. It should be there, see, but it's not. Weird, kinda. I don't know why. Okay, so we tapped into it here, and I'm watching whether we can close above it or not. Again, 10 a.m. We might see some carnival starting, so don't be surprised about that. Okay, no close above it as it is so far. Small little fair value gap with a down candle like this, if bullish, could act as institutional order for entry drill, and it should then smash higher. So far we are seeing some measure of movement away, but if it's good, it should never close this inefficiency here. So that might be a little bit of intel here. And even though we were way above the consecutive encroachment here on 1 minute, we are not closing above it as it is so far. Another attempt. And 1 minute until the Fed chairman testifying. So that's usually a perfect storm for them to mess with the morning session and really make it ugly and sloppy and without direction. So let's see if that will be the case. Okay, buy set here, tapped, and 10 a.m. is in. Yeah, generally overall for the day, I think the buy set here is potential or likely. But now as we traded above this wick here, this should act as a discount array here in the upper half, I believe. If it's really bullish. I'm not going to go long at the breakout above this high and at the high of the day on the regular trading hours, even if it could go 40 more handles, but yeah. Let me check the ES quickly. So here after it took out the buy set there for a good measure, I like that. It's slowing down a little bit, but another pool of buy set is here. That's pretty smooth. That's where it could go. Still, so the Nasdaq could, but the Nasdaq is kind of a wild card here. I still think. So even if it's going to go higher, I'm expecting some measure of manipulation to shake off anyone who actually was participating long in this area here. That would be pretty beneficial, I would say, for them. So now price is trading into that previously premium week, and now I'm watching for any discount sensitivity. Okay, it's approaching the midpoint of it. If it's really strong, it shouldn't close below it, but I kinda suspect that it might. I'm kinda suspecting trading back into this range a little bit, and yeah, going against anyone who went long actually. But yeah, I'm assuming a lot also. So we'll see how it goes. So no new inefficiencies are being formed. All of the candles are starting to overlap very strongly. Also, I'm watching the 15-second. It's super strongly overlapping there. No gaps at all. Even on 15 seconds. So that's something that makes me a little bit concerned. But nonetheless, we touched into the consecutive encroachment. It should have acted as a discount. It did initially. We reacted higher. So if it's really good, it should be plummeting higher from where it is very quickly. And it shouldn't really be messing around with this too much. So yeah, if it goes there, that's fine. That's cool. I wasn't really like too hopped into participating today anyway, due to the economic calendar. But yeah, if they go from here and they didn't do that much damage here, then I'm surprised that they are not playing as dirty as I would expect. But let's see. I might be surprised there. Okay, now touching or trading off of the Monday's regular trading hours high. Trading above the short-term high should bring speed in the delivery, marching towards the buy side at 26,883 even. Okay, so looks like we are in the striking distance here. There is also this pool of liquidity from the 8:30 news right here. So that's a very, very lucrative little buy side liquidity. I'm not going to annotate it because it's super close to this one here, all-time high. That was actually overtaken during the electronic trading hours, but the regular trading hours haven't done that. So there is vast interest to kind of like confirm the move that happened on the electronic trading hours with that RTH run. What is ES doing? Okay, so ES slowed down a little bit. Slow down. Kind of tricky at this point. Okay, didn't clear the wicks here. Touch the bodies. There is this fair value gap that it traded to the low. Quick retracement into a 1 minute BC here. Nice reaction with the wick. Bodies closing way higher, so that should be bullish to run the buy set here. Admittedly. Okay. So apparently it wasn't that bad of a run with the initial sloppiness here for sure, but the base idea with coloring outside lines here being welcome, and as long as no close below this wick here, it was hinting a potential accumulation on the long side, and that's what we've seen in here develop real time. So not too shabby, not too bad. Right, so failed to confirm the all-time high buy side being taken out. Fell a little short of that. Now retracing back again into the 1 minute BC and this discount week. But we are quite extended with all of this run up, and there was no real run on sell side since here. Therefore I would look, or I would expect one to occur. To be honest, I like the fact that they didn't trade it to the all-time high buy set here so far, because if they would make some sort of a fake fall down, we could see then and this level being targeted still, but if we run like quickly up there, then it kind of exhausts my morning session here, because yeah, we could just keep on going higher and higher for the rest of the day. We could do this pull back into the range, and that could be interesting. That's kind of what I'm looking for. But yeah, I'm not interested in going short by any means, but I would love to see a price run that would look like it's selling off, a price run that would look kind of scary, kind of fast move lower, that people would love to sell into. I would love to see that, and then I would be buying comfortably. Right now I don't want to touch it. Okay. Relative equal lows being placed in position here. So that's kind of smooth. Okay, based on 5 minute, this high obviously is very prominent and obvious, and very likely that we are going to go there. And yeah, that's something to look for. The question is whether we go there right away, which is possible for sure, or they play some tomfoolery and come close to it, but then fall short and start selling off, like you know, like it would be scary, or top kind of peak looking. And I'm kind of looking for that type of idea to see a run lower into a discount array. I like this fair value gap here on 5 minute, 9.55. I like one. Okay, they tapped only with a week to that all-time highs. Still watching those relative equal lows here. Now there is a 15-second SIBI here. We are loosening up a little bit. So that SIBI could deliver those relative equal lows here reasonably. Yeah, so as this guy is still testifying, I wouldn't be surprised if they pull the plug off and take out the plug and just take it quickly lower, and trying to sell the idea like, I don't know, that this was a market structure shift bearish and a bearish fair value gap here to go short. What I would even do, I would lay a bait. So I would do that, buy side being taken out here, okay, then sell side being taken out, then a fair value gap like this, cool. I'll touch with one candle and then try to sell off as far as I could, but only to go higher eventually. Okay, I don't know if that makes sense. Relative lows being taken out here, but yeah, that's something what I would like to do. Even this, the buy side taken, market structure shift, people would like to wait for retracement higher here to short. I wouldn't look at this that way. So for me, this will give way, and that's like a fake. So might be seeing what I was looking for here. Let's see. I like how it's starting. Let me see the yes, tap to this level here. Preferably deeper run would be ideal. This fair value gap, something to look. But definitely Nasdaq is the wild one today. Yeah, I would still allow for a deeper of a run here. Maybe take out the sell set here. Like stretch it out a little bit, because as price would start to run away here, people would be starting to lose hope that they will get the entry here, right? And they would start eventually chasing it lower. So let's see if this short-term low that it formed right here can be overtaken by any means. I'll take this to a side for a while. And this low, that's what I'm watching. So that the early buyers that are trying to buy into this will get scared or shaken from their positions too, right? So that would be, yeah, taking this low, very good in my opinion, if we can see that. Nice push right on through it, taking some heads off. People waiting for the model 2022 didn't got the entry here, so now a fair value gap formed here could be a trap, I would say. I don't know if it will form a fair value gap here even. If it's very strong, it won't even do that. But if it does, that would be a bait, in my opinion. A fake one. Yeah, preferably they leave this inefficient here. Just by a slightly tiny bit. Yeah, perfect. And I will try something here. Might be wrong, so don't follow me on this one. But the idea is that now the bait is being laid out, and people are going to, or willing to be going to go short on this fair value gap here and this fair value gap here, and all of the stop losses will be above this high. So yeah, that's a very cruel plan, cruel idea, but it kinda makes sense that if they want to take it higher, they did this measure of manipulation. They could still steer the pot a little bit here, but unless, I suspect this should fail, and I suspect they should be taking it all the way up. It could initially look like it's working, but eventually I think it should not. So yeah, maybe I'm outsmarting myself, but let's see. So yeah, that would be probably like the best case scenario, going a good measure above this high right there, if it's solid. Something like this I would like. Alright, so already these guys who are shorting here with on this fair value gap, they are in some trouble, I believe, and some hopium that okay, they are thinking it can return back to this fair value gap here, right? Next it should hold, and next they have this one. This should definitely hold, right? And yeah, even pokes lower like this, they are enticing still shorts, I believe. That's what people love doing at all-time highs. They love shorting all-time highs. That's really something that people love doing. People love shorting at all-time highs. Okay. Okay, dropping lower here for good measure, I believe that's a very nice bait, because it kinda forces people to go short lower than they would like to, but at the same time it's FOMO kicking in, I believe. So yeah, I was considering adding another one here, but it would be kind of very close to the initial position, so I decided not to do so here. Maybe it will offer a better opportunity later. Yeah, that's what I like to see. Nice speed in here, speed element. Quickly coming back above this little fair value gap here. So this portion here looks kind of ugly in here, admittedly, but I believe they did enough of work in here. And those inefficiencies, I don't want to see them act as resistance. I suspect that they will give way and price will trade through them. They might offer some initial reactions like this, because this is perfect bait for people to chase that, right? So even if you were not considering going short on this CB here, after a snap lower like this, you are already short, aren't you? So yeah, I'm playing with the sharks today. So at this point I would like to trim the stop loss a little bit. That's way better. So idea is, few times we can look like it's reacting lower from those, but eventually at some point a quick run against that would be what I'm expecting. Very cruel way of delivery in price, if that's in fact going to happen. I don't know, but so far that's what makes sense to me. Okay, trading lower here like this, reasonable bait. Obviously I'm wrong if it just smashes lower, right? But as long that that's not the case, I'm standing with the idea that we might see it just smash or keep on going higher, right? And yeah, if I'm wrong on my assumption, by the way, then I'm done for the morning session. Okay, I like that. I like this one, grabbing the sell side here. I like this one, but it needs to quickly reject that. That would be a good sign that I'm on side with the idea. So quick rejection and body close inside of it, or ideally above this fair value gap. That would be telling that it should be going higher. I like this. I like this, what they did here. So now, as it looks so terribly bearish, would be an opportunity to buy, I believe, going into this week here. and preferably some speed on the upside. Again, all of this in here, I believe that's a bait, that's fake, that's not resistance, that's not a short. All right. I believe they did enough of baiting here to start running higher, because now they will be challenging the stop losses, or they will be doing the last final bait where they will start running up higher slowly, like it's failing, but when the time comes, they will just smash right on through. Okay, another touch to this lower fair value gap here. I like how they left those ratifical highs. Yeah, so anyone who went short in here, chased short or tried short in here, really loves to see these down candles to like continue going, but they usually don't do that at those times. Usually they don't do that. They snap quickly lower, but then they go slow and start building up higher. So all of this is messing with people here. All of this is mess, doing damage, trying to offset people who are long, in my opinion, and entire shorts. Okay, another attempt to run lower actually, so let's see how this one does. Preferably it fails quickly, and I believe we should be starting to see it turn around here. This also looks way too much as a bear flag at this point. So again, I'm expecting to smirk higher. But who knows, maybe I'm the one who is getting or being played right now. Maybe. Okay, so this run here, okay, they're taking the sell side. Both here. That's the last chance. Rejection block was engaged. So final bait in here, I believe. Final bait, and now I like how they came back with this weak, and we can touch lower again, but the next candle on 1 minute preferably sends us higher again. Otherwise it becomes a little bit problematic for me in here. Yes, that's what I like to see. And now speed to the upside. Now Speedy Gonzalez. That's very good. So initial bait again, rejecting, like it's going to go lower. It shouldn't though. Let me see the ES. Alright, so ES did make lower lows here, and ES is looking like it's selling off. Okay, funny. But yeah, the time is running, so we are also slowly going to be entering the lunch, and that should be the time where it just releases higher and attacks the buy side liquidity here, I believe, because looks how ugly this is, looks how messy, how dirty. Like, how do you trade this long, right? Unless you are a psycho. But the idea that I'm king off of is that they bought already here. They moved higher. They laid a bait. They possibly can buy more here and eventually distribute it into the close. Very simple idea, relying on the fact that we are at the all-time highs, and at this type of environments they just like to keep on going. So we do have relative equal lows in here on the weeks, right? So I wonder if they would like to touch or tap into this, and does it, they reject, or preferably not even trade below them, I believe. But looks like we are touching the lows. They stopped me out here, and if I want to re-enter, that's where it is. So I will re-enter here. Stop loss around here, assuming that this is fake again, and I was just too tight with the initial stop loss here and trailed too quickly, and assuming that they will take it all the way up. If I get stopped out again, then I'm definitely wrong on this idea, and I will live with that, I guess. Okay, not a fan to be honest, not a fan. Yeah, apparently I was just wrong. Interesting, very interesting nonetheless. I still think that that's a bait and this is fake and they are going to run higher, but I kinda misinterpreted that or mistimed that big time. So yeah. Because now everyone is in love to run the lows here, and something in me tells me that maybe that's not what they will do indeed. All right, interesting how deep is actually reaching into here. But now the consecutive encroachment of this first presentation from Monday, there is a base here that we are also trading back into as a discount. So yeah, I guess I want to die on that hill today. Using the Monday first presentation with this Bessie here, and today's first presentation as my stop management here. Assuming that they took sell side, took it to the discount, deeper discount of this entire range, and assuming we might see a higher high today on the day. So the reason why I consider taking this again is only because I still think there is validity to the idea, but they just took it to a deeper discount than I was initially expecting. And if that's the case, that's the place to turn this around a little bit. But if I'm wrong again, then I'm just done for the day, and I will consider myself wrong then, completely offside. Which again might be the case. So yeah, I want to see a measure of rejection around this area. I don't want to see it just keep on going. I like how the bodies are staying in the upper half of this Monday's first presentation, and also in the upper half of this busy. That's what I like, but I also would like to see it start picking up some speed here, also on the upside. Large ranges would be really welcome, if possible. Okay, so let's see if this could offer a little bit of lift to the upside. And because we dropped into this discount here, deeper discount, we did some damage on the sell side. I would expect that if it's good, it should really quickly be running higher, because otherwise it's kinda inviting this messy type of range. So we have immediate rebalance on this up candle. I guess 10 more minutes, or the next 10 minutes will show and prove what's actually going on here. Traded to this lowest discount week in here. I'm watching whether we can react out of it. Let me quickly check the ES. ES made a lower low already. Nasdaq hasn't done it yet, but yeah, now it's kind of iffy. So I'm considering closing out the trade kinda at this point. Technically, Nasdaq refusing to make a lower low is ideal scenario versus ES making a lower low if bullish. But because Nasdaq was weakest earlier, I'm not sure if I can trust that this one will actually be the rebellion, the voice of rebellion now. So yeah, I think I'm forced to take it out. Yep, it's going for my stop here. All right, so rough session for me today, not gonna lie. I think I kind of outsmarted myself with this area in here. And even though the idea wasn't maybe that bad, then the delivery kind of cooked me. Is Trump speaking? Okay, so that's on me. I didn't knew. Yeah, maybe if that's the case, that wasn't allowing for what I was looking for apparently. But yeah, I own it here. So a little bit of a bitter pill today. That's fine. But again, like last time explaining what I was trying to do in here, that was something that I coined myself. But the general idea is that if market is very bullish, very one-sided, or all-time high scenario and still bullish, and we run up in the morning and we do this type of model 2022, right? But before the actual liquidity being taken out, many times it's like a fake. It's a bait that you can fade, and price will trade through it. Apparently not this time, not today. It didn't pan out at all, and yeah. Well. Well played. Thanks for playing, I guess. So yeah. Nonetheless, I think that's going to be it for me for this morning. Definitely not willing to touch it right now. Maybe if it shows a cleaner idea or cleaner picture, I will tickle you on the Telegram. But right now, this is some some measure of volatility that is maybe, as Anastellini is saying, Trump is actually speaking and he's saying something that they are using, and if that's the case right now, I don't want to touch. After he's done, maybe there will be something left, and I'll be still pointing to the buy side here then, but we'll see how it goes. So yeah, nonetheless, thanks for watching today. It was a pleasure as always. We'll see you again tomorrow 9:30, and until then I wish you best luck and good trading. So bye bye.